All right, welcome everybody to the Hobby CNC with Dave show. If this is your first time here, welcome. This is just a show where we kind of talk about hobby CNC stuff. Me and my panel will take questions. If anybody's got them, just put them in the live chat there and put a Q in front. And my buddy Ryan, who I will bring in now, he is going to be flagging the questions for me. And let me go ahead and bring in the rest of my crew for the night. We got Mr. Paul Corliss, Mr. Russ Meadows, and Mr. Rob Schuster. How y'all doing tonight? And if this isn't the first time you've been here, thank y'all for coming back. We've got a good looking crowd over there, looks like tonight. So welcome again to the Hobby CNC with Dave show. And I have got some question. I hear something. What is that? Is that a TV?
Oh, sorry, it's me.
Okay. Yeah. I kept hearing something. I'm like, somebody's got a TV or something on. I'm not sure what that is. But okay. Just remember to flip it when you want to say one of your witty comments there. Right. But anyhow, hope everybody's having a good holiday weekend. Oh, and I meant to put up my man, I'm slacking now. Let me get my stuff going here. In honor of Memorial Day, we'll do July 4th, we'll do the flag stuff today. So I'm meant to have that already up. Anyway, if anybody's got any questions, go ahead and put them in the chat. While we're waiting for some questions to come in, I've got some questions, some things. You know how I am. I just had some things on my mind here lately. So I've got some questions. And I guess I'll ask them for anybody who wants to answer, whether it be folks in the live chat or we'll take a poll here of the panel members. You didn't know you were going to have to work when you came on tonight, I know, but
I'm going to sit in the back of the class.
What's that?
I'm going to sit in the back of the class if I have to answer.
Yeah, well, I'm going to call on you anyway. In fact, since you being smart, I'll just start with you.
Alec. Gets me every time. Oh.
Here's my question. Here's something I was thinking about.
Principal's office.
You know, we have all kinds of folks out here in the chat. Some are old veteran CNC people. Some of them are, maybe still kind of new at it, and then other ones are maybe don't even have a CNC. Maybe just tuning in to ask some questions and stuff like that. But one of the questions that I got to thinking about today is, and we'll start with you, Russ. When you were starting out in CNC, or maybe even you still do it, I don't know. What is the one thing, or if there was one, there may be more than one, but what's the one thing that always seemed to get you as far as something maybe you'd forget to do? You're getting ready to start a job on your CNC. Is it something you would forget to do, like forget to zero the Z or forget to load the right program or something like that? What's the one little gotcha that got you when you started?
In the very beginning, I mean the absolute very beginning, it was, I have the DeWalt 611 router. There were more than a couple of times that I'd forget to turn the blasted router on. Yeah. And I start the thing up and oh crap, I forgot to turn it on. So it's taking that bit and it's just dragging that bit all over the wood. Of course, naturally, if I don't catch it quick enough, it's damaged.
It cuts better when it's spinning.
I did notice that after the first couple, 2 or 3 times I did that.
Yeah. Well, that's, with using that kind of a router that you don't have controlled with the software. That's, I'm a been there, done that guy on that one too. I've done that many a time. And that's not the only one. I'll share some of my other bloopers as we go on here. But what about you, Paul? You're still kind of new, I think, at this. But
Yeah, I'm still new. And I think the thing that I have done more than any other single thing is I learned VCarve Pro by watching Mark Lindsay's videos. And he always, when he's designing something, he sets the 0 point at the center of the workpiece. Mm-hmm. And then when he's done with it, he moves it to the lower left.
Yeah.
And probably the biggest mistake I've made is getting my G code, sticking the drive in the CNC, hitting the go button, and wondering why the stupid thing went to the far back left corner instead of starting to cut where I wanted it to. And then it would hit me that I forgot to move my 0 to the front left corner. And I still do that.
Yeah. That's again, that's another one that I've done before too. So all right, Rob, you're up. What's one you will fess up to?
When I have a project that has multi different bits, and I'll change out the bit and I'll re-zero the bit and go through all that, and then I'll hit play, and I forget to change to the G code for that bit. So I've done that multiple times. I still have to think about that, but yeah, that's my guilty.
Yeah, I so far I've done all three of the things you guys have mentioned.
I've done that one as well. My gosh.
Yeah. All right, Ryan, let's hear what you got to say.
All right, I've done all of those continuously. Never learned my lesson. I've also what I do most often though is that I will get my project all set up at the CNC, and then forget that the G code's on my computer up in 2 floors up in the office. So I go back up and get the take the zip drive with me back upstairs and put it back on, and then bring it back down.
It could be worse. Your CNC could be out in the shop, way out in the backyard.
Well, yeah.
It's going to be there, right?
Eventually, yes.
Yeah, be a lot longer trek then.
Yeah. Well, hopefully at that point I actually have internet out there too. So that's the plan anyway.
Okay. I'll fess up with mine here in just a sec. And like I said, so far y'all are batting 1,000 because I've done all of those. But before I forget and we get any farther along, I want, especially for the folks that are just joining tonight, we do a weekly live giveaway sponsored by Cadence Manufacturing and Design. My good friend Cody Elkins, who I see is over there in the chat. He sponsors the giveaway every single week. And this week we are giving away, let's see if I can get over here to it. We are doing the compression, 1/4-inch compression Genie bit, the original Genie bit. That's the one we're giving away tonight. So in order to get in on the drawing for that, which I'm sure is why you're here, make sure you put in #Jenny in the chat sometime tonight. I'll be showing this back and forth, as we go on, but we usually draw it towards the end of the show. And that way everybody has a chance to get that hashtag put in. So I've already got it collected them. The giveaway tool's already set up. So get in your #Jenny and you will be good to go. All right. I've done all of those. All of them you mentioned, the forgetting Rob, the one he mentioned where I take extra care to make sure I get the bit 0 just right and everything and changed out. And then I hit cycle start and I'm like, I never changed the program. It's old programs. And sometimes it's, been too late and it's it does not work well when you go from a say you were doing a V carve, so you had a V bit in there, and then the next one's supposed to be where you're parting it out, and you got a 1/4 inch end mill, and it thinks it's still running the V bit program. It'll destroy it pretty quick. But yeah, all of those things I've done, but I don't do them much anymore because I've gotten the habit of in Mach 3 looking at the extents, and I've talked about that before. How you can look at the extents, and of course the other thing is when you look at that toolpath thing, you can see at a quick glance whether it's whether the program you just loaded in is programmed for the middle of the part, the lower left, top left, whatever it might be. So, but yeah, I've done all those things, and it's not fun when you mess up, but it does help you to learn, I think. And I don't know of anybody that's hasn't done at least a few of those things. Let's see, Ryan, did you have? Yeah, he's got some questions over here. Let's see what Harry says. Hey, Dave, I see your printer is going. Man, that's a good eye, because I'm trying to hide it with my big old head here. It says, I see your printer's going. What are you printing? Hopefully something with a purpose. If I'm printing something, you can bet it's got a purpose, because I don't print any junk these days. But yeah, it's a prototype part for my 3018, and you'll find out all about what that's for in the near future. Okay. Let's see. HE says, hi, Dave and everyone. Can I have your thoughts on CNC control software? How do they compare? Well, let's see. I think probably just about every single person on the panel uses something different. I believe, because I know Rob's the Linux guy. Ryan's the Pi guy, the Raspberry Pi guy. Let's see. Paul's got the Onefinity, so what's in that? That's a Raspberry Pi, isn't it? Okay. And then Russ, you're a Mach 3 guy or no?
Mach 3, buddy.
Okay. It's really hard to get, when you ask somebody to say, hey, tell me what your thoughts are on CNC control software. If you ask 10 different people, you're going to get 10 different, things, what they're going to say. I would suggest just try to get the free, because a lot of them have a free, they're either free, to start with, or they're free to use for a trial version or something. So I would just kind of check them out and see. And again, it may depend, a lot of it may have to do with what kind of CNC you end up getting, because, gerbil base runs on gerbil stuff, and the other kind can run on Mach 3 or UC CNC or whatever, but it may have a proprietary type stuff too. I think Axiom, isn't it a proprietary thing? I think doesn't it run off a pendant? I think. I'm not real sure, but yeah, that's a good question, but it's really really something you need to decide on yourself what you like, and in conjunction with what kind of CNC you're going to get.
I think also that it should be like, what do your friends use? Because if your friends are using it, you have some support there.
You have from people you can ask questions.
From people that you know. Yeah, because you're going to have questions, and if you that's the one biggest hurdle I've had since I did the Raspberry Pi. Like, nobody was doing it, and so anytime I had a question on something, good luck. I mean, you had to go searching a lot to go figure out the question.
Well, you were a trailblazer.
I'm always a trailblazer.
That's right. But yeah, and you know, getting back to the what your friends use or what your Facebook group, you know, I don't think that's probably as big a deal as it used to be because with Facebook and all these groups, they're everybody's using everything these days. You know, there's probably the lone exception might be the stuff that's real expensive. Uh, and I'm not trying to throw anybody under the bus here, but like a Masso or that Acorn stuff or whatever, you know, there's probably still some groups that use those, but with those not being as popular as the cheaper stuff, if you go with something that's cheaper, you more than likely there's going to be a lot of people using it, so you can get support and questions answered that way. I would think. All right, let's move on here. Bob Wood's in the house. How you doing, Bob? Hope you're having a good weekend. He says my router has a sticker on it that says "Turn on before you click play."
Yeah, I think that might have been meant for me. I'm gonna get one of those and stick it on.
That's well, I mean, that's not a bad idea to put a sticker like that on your router if you're using a router that you have to turn on manually. That's a good idea. I have and I know some of you people have probably seen it, but I use a Canon T5i for most of my video recordings when I'm doing, and it's got the little window thing that flips out to the side and all that. And of course, it has a built-in mic, but the built-in mic is just terrible audio quality. So I have a little, I don't know what you call them, shotgun mic or whatever that mounts on top of it, but it has a separate switch. So I have a sticky note like what Bob's talking about, only mine's on my camera where when I flip open the thing to pull that window out, there's a piece of paper taped inside there and it says turn the damn mic on. Because so many times I've hit record, walk around there, and sometimes, you know me, I can talk. Sometimes I'll talk for 10 minutes and then I go back around there and I'm like, oh great, no sound.
That's a good idea because I've got the same camera and have run into the same problem.
Yeah, it's you know, and you know, and what's really bad is when you're really showing something and you need to get it in that one take, and you got the video, but no audio. All right, here.
Womp womp.
Jerry Brown's trying to. Dave's printing a toy and he does it. No, you come stick around. You'll see what it is. It won't be finished by the time we get off here tonight. I don't think, but no, it's something useful.
It's a useful toy.
Yeah. Okay, let's see. Big Nick's Design says, and welcome, Big Nick. I think you might be one of the new folks here tonight. And if you are, welcome. He says, have you and the rest of the panel had a chance to use the Groovy Ginny yet? I have it, and it saved me so much time weeding. I have one on order, but I haven't got it yet. I got one of the, I don't have the 90, which has been out a little while, but I got a 60 degree on order and it hadn't got here yet, but I'm looking forward to trying that out.
I've got a couple of them, and I haven't had an opportunity to get back in there in the back of the shop and use them yet. But I'm waiting. When that 90 gets here, I'm going to try to plow away in there and do a little 2D card.
Yeah, I think when the like I said, I don't have a 90 on the way. I do have the 60, and I think when it gets here, I may try to make sure I do a live, one of these Saturday Night Lives from the shop, and we'll test that thing out live on the show.
That'd be cool.
With some different with some different methods. I have some aura mask out there, and then I can do another thing where I just paint it and carve it and see how that does. But I'm looking forward to trying that out. Good question, Nick. Let's see here. Brooks Martin says, "Hey Dave, in the panel, what's your favorite and worst feature in your spoil boards?" Russ, what say you? Oh, are you muted?
Russ is muted.
Forgot to click the button as I want to do.
Well, maybe, as Bob Wood says, you should probably get a note and stick on that microphone.
Click the button before you talk, which I don't know if anybody knows. I did the
old,
exact same thing.
Oh shoot! I don't have any problems with my spoil board. I use the I got a sheet of 5x5 Baltic birch that I've had ever since I've had the machine. I cut it down to fit, and I haven't had any kind of problems with it at all as far as moisture or anything in the shop, because it's really not moisture free outside in my place, and I've had no problems with it at all. And that's all I use is just that, and then I'll have a little sacrificial piece that I put under when I'm going to carve something, but I'm fine with that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have any problems with it.
Did you seal it or anything like that, or is it just
No,
the raw?
never did. Just the raw wood. I've never put any kind of sealer on it at all. It hasn't bowed up on me or warped or anything. It's been pretty good, pretty stable.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Okay, what about you, Paul?
When I got my CNC, I had these grandiose plans of building a spoil board with the T-tracks and all the little holes with the inserts in it. But I happened to have a piece about 2 foot square in my shop of MDF. So I stuck that on there, screwed it, countersunk the screw, screwed it down, and I'm still using it. I haven't found a need to put lines on it or anything. I just I use the painter's tape and super glue to hold everything down. And the only thing I'm going to do, in fact, I'm going to do a video on it, is I'm going to do like you have and drill some 1/4-inch holes on a 90-degree angle so I can put some pins in there so I have a way of registering stuff square to the spindle or square to the CNC. But I just got a piece of scrap MDF on there and it works fine.
Okay. All right. Rob? I've seen your spoil board in videos. I know.
I spoil my spoil board. I have a MDF. I glued it down, and I have T-track. And actually, I did a grid on it with the V-bits, inch squares. And I really like having that grid on there. It helps me line things up, and I can measure things real quick off that if I need to. But yeah, I like the way I have mine, and I'm not going to mess with it. Well, I need to put another layer of MDF down because it's so bad. But dang, have you seen the price of MDF? It's crazy.
Yeah, it's all
it's nuts.
It's all still high.
Now, Rob, when yours needs refinishing, do you just do a finish thing on it and then lay out? You got a file that does the grid afterwards, and
Yep. I skim it. I just take off a few hundredths. I've got 1 1/4 inch flat surfacing bit, and just take out a smidge, and then put my grid down again, and that's it. And that's worked great. But now it's finally time to put another layer of MDF down. It's getting down where I'm getting pretty close to the T-track again, and I don't want to run into that. So it's time to break down and buy some MDF.
Mm-hmm. Righty. Let's see here. Ryan, did you have anything you wanted to add about the spoil boards?
Well, I started out with my spoil board without one, really. It was just the tabletop of the of my Gatton, and I would just nail stuff directly into it with my brad nailer. and then finally, like maybe a year or so ago, I did do the T-track and MDF on top of it, and it's so far it's been really good. I don't have any complaints about it. Haven't really. I surfaced it once just to get it flat, and we're making it work.
Okay. Yeah, I have T-track and MDF strips on mine. In fact, on my Avid, I just fairly recently, within the past few months, I guess, surfaced it for the first time, and it was, well, it still wasn't looking too bad, but I like to use the cheap made from scrap wood or scrap plywood hold down clamps in the T-tracks with the knobs, and that's always been my hold down of choice. So uh, that's why I use the T-track. Although with this other little CNC, it's so small, I'm just going to be using, like Paul mentioned, the painter's tape and CA method on that, because you're not going to need much because the whole table's not but that big. But
That'll work perfect for that.
so
I was
that's-
thinking about
that's
your
what-
spoil board on that little 3018, and I was thinking you could probably just get away with like a 1/4 inch thick piece of something, because you're not going to go dive bombing all the way through that.
Yeah, well, I mean, you
And
could,
need to
but
throw it away.
the reason I made one reason I made it thick is because that's what I had, a 3/4 inch piece. And then even with that, as I was cutting it out on the other CNC, I milled it down to where it's only 0.6, which is still thick for that little thing. But I wanted it where I could get the head of the bolts way down, and I put just 4 bolts in the corners, and I can slide it on. So when I get something where I don't have enough Z travel or whatever, I just slide it right off. It's it's not hard to get on and off. So
Right.
that's why I went with that. I didn't have a spare piece of half or quarter laying around.
That's true. That thing's so small that even the 1/2 inch thick stuff looks like it's 3/4
yeah.
inch thick. It's the size really gets you.
Yeah, and if I'm just going to be doing like a 3D carve or something where I'm not cutting through it, then I just not worried about putting it on that aluminum. It's only if I'm going to be cutting through that I want to have something,
Underneath it.
another scrap piece of something underneath it.
Something
So I don't miss.
I'd like to see at some point would be a comparison picture, just to really drive home the size difference. Like take one of your Ender 3s and put it and take a picture of it next to the 3018, just to show
About the same size, huh?
Yeah, that's really the size of this thing. That'd be pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if you heard that. Jack was just growling at something. I'm not sure what he took off after, but all right, let's move on to another question here. Peter Van Vliet says, any tips on milling PVC, painting, finishing, etc. too? Who wants to tackle that one? I have not.
I've never messed with the PVC.
I've never messed with PVC. I've done lots of HDPE. I've done a ton of that stuff. but
Todd
not
H
any,
had some
got-
answers.
I've got one here.
see.
I'll be right back. I'll go find it and I'll bring it in.
Okay.
So nobody ask any questions in the meantime, because I'll miss
Okay. Well, I'll just sit here quietly.
I'm going to ask a question while he's gone.
Okay.
I saw in the chat they were talking about, and I've seen this in different forums, is about using a zero flute bit.
Oh, flute, yeah.
What is that? I don't have any idea what those are.
That's
Does anybody know what they are or what they look like?
They're specifically for plastics. And Todd is saying something about that in the chat as well.
Yeah.
It's about the PVC and stuff.
Yeah, there it is right there. Old flute. And I don't know what they are, and I just was curious.
They look a lot like regular bits, but like end mills, but they have a specific cutting deal on towards the bottom of it that I've seen. I've not used them, but I have been so tempted to get one because I see a lot of people are doing PVC and phenolic and stuff like that for signs for outside. And PVC is popular for lithophane. Yes, it is, and it does really well for lithophane.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Todd's saying one flute.
Mm-hmm. It's got one flute on it, but it's called it an old flute. I don't know what that's for.
Okay, well, that's what I was, it seems kind of weird for him to call it a O flute.
Yeah, that's what it is, though. It's not a zero. It looks like an O.
Oh, it's like the letter O.
Yeah,
Okay.
the letter O.
Okay.
I mean, so there's like a hole through it?
No.
No?
I guess the
No.
bottom and the way it's curved is probably just
okay.
shaped like an O.
Yeah, you can look on Amanda's website, Amanda Tools.
Well, I wish I'd have
See-
thought of that. I never
a picture
even
of
gave
one.
that a thought.
Paul,
Yeah, I'll have
you
to
needed
do
me.
that.
You needed me, Paul.
I do. Have for years, Russ.
I'm back.
Okay.
Nobody asked any questions, right?
No, we just sat here looking at each other. Waiting
That's
for you
good. I
to get
appreciate
back.
that. At least I know my job. So I had this done in PVC here.
That's
And
cool.
Oh, that's neat.
This is where I'm at right now, down in South Carolina. So I did this when we got our place, and it's a 3/4 inch PVC, and and then I just did some. There's like a weird, almost Velcro attachment to the back here, and it just sticks to the wall. So what I did to do this was I first started out with the blank PVC, and I just painted the whole thing in the blue, and then just carved out the white. Pretty simple. And I think I did like a 1/8 inch clearing pass, and then a V-bit, 60-degree V-bit for the detail stuff. But it's just spray paint. It's that Rust-Oleum 2X stuff. Went down really good. I think I did 2 or 3 coats of it, and it's been outside for a couple of years now, and it's been fine.
Does it get any direct sunlight?
Yeah,
Or is it
I guess
under
so.
shade?
It's kind of under an awning, like under a little porch area, but yeah, it does get morning sunlight. So,
That's really
I've seen
good.
that I have to take I have to wash it once in a while because it gets pollen and sand and junk all in
Yeah.
the bits and pieces. But I love PVC. I love carving this stuff. It's awesome. It's so clean.
Okay. When you first held that up,
Mhm.
I don't know exactly what that stuff they call color core is made out of,
Yeah,
but it reminded
that-
me of that. And the nice
Yeah.
thing about the color core is you don't have to paint anything. It's just got little
Yeah.
thin layers.
I've done some of the color core before. I wasn't so excited about it because I don't know, what it might have just been the brand that I was using, but it's so the way that it is on widthwise is it was like 1/8 of an inch of color, which mine was red, and then it was like 1/4 of an inch of white, and then or 1/8 of an inch of white, whatever it was, and then there was red on the back too, and it got fuzzies horribly. I didn't think it carved anywhere near as nice as this, but it
What
could have
was
been
you
my
using?
bits. It could have been that I was horrible.
I was gonna say, what were you using to carve it with?
Yeah, the same things I always do.
Same thing.
1/8 inch upcut bits and V bits and stuff like that. So, but like you couldn't with that stuff because of the fuzzies and stuff. I couldn't I couldn't like sand it down to get rid of the fuzzies. It was kind of a mess. I tried a few
Upcut
different
bit.
things to get it.
I would think the upcut bit would have been the problem with that.
Yeah, but you can't do a down cut because then you'll melt it. So what would if I were the next time I try cutting that stuff, which I do have some of it left, when I do have one of Cody's bits that I'm going to order as soon as I get the building done. It's gonna. I'll try it again and see if it has better results with it that way. And Big Nick is asking if I sealed that sign. No, it's just the rattle can 2X paint. There's no clear on that at all. So,
Okay.
yeah, it does good. I've sent out a few signs I've carved for people out of PVC, and they've weathered really well.
Larry Brown was saying that the O flute keeps the plastic from wrapping around the bit, and it shoots them out of the cut in chips. So that would probably be another what you need to use. That's specifically for plastic and acrylics.
Yeah, and I see Todd says that it's also good for aluminum. I've been watching a lot of aluminum cutting with these little bitty machines, and that's what they use to get some good chip removal. All right, was that the okay? That was the last question we had there. While we got a break in the questions here, let me go back and remind folks, if you've just tuned in, and I know some of you have, we are given the Genie bit, which is this one right here, the original Genie bit compression bit. That's the one we're going to be giving away tonight. So to get in on the drawing, put in hashtag Genie in the chat, and we will I'll remind y'all again a little later when we get closer to the drawing for that. So let's see, we got another question over here. Dwayne says, how many of you use a rotary chuck? And if you do, how do you zero to the center after tool change? Center of the cylinder after the tool change.
That's right up your alley with that one.
Yeah. Here's, I hate to have to do all this. Let me see if I can find real quick. And I got another video. Yeah, y'all don't let me leave tonight without showing you a video. I gotta show you, not mine, but somebody else's. Let's see if I can find that fairly quick here. I think I can.
All right. Well, while you're doing that, I was seeing that Peter Van Vliet, sorry, was asking something about doing an outdoor PVC sign. And about having wood grain on both sides. Well, if you are doing if you have the Vectric stuff, you probably could put the wood grain into it, even if it's smooth on both sides. Or if you find PVC that has, wood grain on one side, you could layer it up and glue it together with the PVC cement, and it should be good to go.
Okay, I'm trying to find the right video. I think this is the one I'm looking for. I'll preview it here, and if it is, I'll get it queued up and show, because I'll be able to answer this question a lot easier if I can point to things with my little red mouse here. Why is this video playing down here? There we go. Nope. Well, I can kind of use this video maybe, because I'll just use the picture part of it. All right, let me share my screen here, and I think I can show how I do this. Now, what I did with mine is, if you don't have a piece of material in here, it's not that hard, because you've got the point here on your live center, and you can just bring this down, zero it out, and you're pretty good there. But like you said, if you have a tool change, and you need to get back to the center of that. Well, here's what I did, and I hope you can see my mouse. I see it, so I'm sure you can probably see it. But what I did is I used I figured out by putting my bit over here and touching off on the top of this live center right here, where there's a nice flat spot right here. And then I figured out after I touched that off in 0, then I moved it over here and I brought it down until I got down to where the 2 points were touching. And I did this with a V bit, by the way, so you get a good point to point when you're putting it by your live center. And then once I determined by looking at the digital readout what that distance is from the top of here to the point in the center line of this axis here, I just wrote down that number beside my thing, and then I edited my script in my my little script for my Auto Tool 0. And what I would do is I would use this with my touch probe to 0. And then whenever, what it did is when it zeroed, it would touch off here and the bit would come up, but then I would move it over here. And if I hit go to 0, it would come all the way down to the that point there. And if you might not have been here, but if you watch real close in the intro that I play every week, there's a sequence where it shows that exact thing. It's part of the little intro where I show how that moves, and then I bring the bit over here and it comes down. And if you look close, you'll have to see that. But anyway, hopefully that answered your question. The best way, like I said, find out find a flat spot. Usually when you have these rotary axes, there's a flat spot here on the live center. So if you use that as your spot to touch, and then all you need to know is the distance between here down to the center line. And that's what you do. That way you can zero off of here, no matter what material you have in there. It's not in the way.
On my Revolution, I haven't put out a video about it yet, but I've already done it, which was to add a 0 plate to my live center. So, but I did essentially the same thing that you were talking about. I just have it into the Bob CNC basic sender. You just hit 0 and it'll bounce off of that the little plate on the live center, and it knows how far down it can go.
Okay, JR is hitting up with a super chat. Looks like he says, "Smash that like button and maybe hit a super chat if you grew up on bologna sandwiches." My bologna has a first. Okay, thank you, JR. Much appreciated, my friend. You're way too kind. Okay, Bob says Cody needs to design a better O flute. I wouldn't doubt it at all if Cody has that on his list. I don't know if Cody's one to do a lot of PVC or aluminum stuff, but no doubt he'll get around to it eventually. Let's see here. Peter says, for 3D carvings, what's the usual method for painting to help control where the paint shouldn't go, like it's done with masking for 2D projects? I'm gonna let y'all handle that one because I hate painting.
Yeah, it's a Russ question.
Let's let Russ take this one. You're muted again, buddy.
That last word, did you? This one's 3D carved, and it's all hand painted. There's no reason for any control. You just use that hand brush and go after it, and that's what I did.
That's nice looking.
Thank you. Thank you.
How many hours did that take to paint it?
Oh, I couldn't tell you because I didn't keep track of it, but it was over a 2-day period sitting in my kitchen table. Um, Sometimes that's all acrylic paints. Sometimes using a mixture of colors that I had to put together to try to get the color I wanted. So that's what that kind of took a little while sometimes. But yeah, it's not hard to do if you've got the time. And like I said, this took about probably two good solid evenings of painting to get that
Yes.
done.
And I don't really think there is an easy way to paint a 3D card.
That yeah, not there's no way to mask off. Really, not really anyway, because there's no way to because the surface is not flat.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
some paint's going to get somewhere, and then you're going to have to come back over that. So in my experience, and like I said, I don't have a whole lot of experience with it, but I do these fairly regularly now. But painting them by hand, small brushes.
So the answer to the question, what's the usual method? It would be patience.
Patience, painting by hand.
That's what I was just going to say. You must have to have nerves of steel to do that.
Nerves
Yeah.
of steel. You take that brush in the hand, and then you put that other hand, and you just go slow.
Yeah.
It depends on the project. It depends on the project. I've done a lot of those.
It
Go ahead.
also, yeah, it also depends on the project. Small ones like this, it's all done by hand for me.
I've done a lot of those, the Bible or open book, and you put text on it before.
Oh yeah,
And I'll carve the book. Excuse me, carve the book. Put a layer of either joint compound, real thin, or wood filler. Carve, paint, then sand it back off, and that does a pretty good job for text. But I don't know on what 3D project you're talking about. This is pretty specific what it works for, but that does make it a lot easier to get nice sharp text
Yeah.
on something.
it would. Your
Okay.
fella from Sweden says, mount the airbrush in the CNC and make an ISO program for it. I said, I don't think so.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Earl Walker says, I'm doing a sign now out of PVC and doing inlay epoxy 4 colors using 60 V-bit. It was a little fuzzy, he says. Okay. Alrighty. Here's an interesting question. Has anyone used an O flute for hardwood? I would think that wouldn't be a good idea, but
I wonder the same, except for when you tell me that they use them for aluminum. That makes me wonder if you could. But I don't think so, though. But it makes me wonder because of the aluminum part we saw earlier.
yeah, I don't know if anybody in the chat's got a comment on that, but it just doesn't, from what I've seen, the way an O flute looks, it just doesn't seem like a good idea when there's so many other bits that work fine in hardwood.
Yeah. I don't know because you told me about that aluminum. I kind of wondered about it, but the way that bit is designed on the bottom, I don't know that it would.
Yeah.
Larry Brown said you can liquid brush on micro mask. It's $8 on Amazon, used for airbrushing. How do you get it back off?
I think it just like rubs
Just-
off or something like that.
Does it? I've never heard
think
of
so.
it, so I mean that's something new for me.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with that. All right, Bruce and Joma Williams says, at Ryan, did you use Sinatra PVC sheet to carve that sign, or is it solid 3/4 PVC?
It's just a solid 3/4 inch PVC. I don't know what the Sinatra PVC is. I've not heard of that.
I haven't heard anything called that either, but I'm guessing it's something that's not solid. So maybe I don't know what it would be.
Jerry Brown is saying that you would need a spindle to use a single flute.
Oh, because you have to keep the speed down with those? Is that what he's saying?
He didn't. He comes further back. Says calculator has a single flute doing 25,000 RPMs. It might break or deflect. Not the best tool for hardwood.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, because it's just kind of like one big flute wound around there that when it comes to hardwood, you don't want something, you want something with a little meat on it going in there. I would anyway.
He also mentioned something about the micro mask. He said, "Oh, the old Bob Ross rubber cement masking to keep it off." I guess you could peel that off a lot easier, I would think. The rubber cement when you're painting the 3D. I don't know.
I don't know. I just can't think of any way that would make 3D, trying to paint a 3D carving easy. Though I don't think those two words go together.
No, it's not easy.
I don't think.
It's a little time consuming.
I'd paint a 3D carving with a half-inch down cut and just wipe it out.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Big Nick's Design says, never seem to get what I'm worth when I have to paint them by hand. Anyone else have luck dollar-wise?
Nope. Got to do it as simple as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You see that one?
There's, I think when you, this is just me talking now. I think when you do 3D stuff, if you're doing it to sell, you gotta find just the right person that wants that.
Yeah.
Because people are used to seeing stuff at Walmart, and they're like, $150. What are you crazy? They're used to seeing. I don't know. I just think you have to be making something specific for that person, or be lucky enough to find just the right person that really likes what you've done.
It depends. Like Jerry says, it's about the personal or the gift area arena when you're doing 3D stuff. The that one of the first ones I did, that Jesus with the frame around it, all carved as one piece of wood. I sold that one really quickly for $150. There was no painting on it. It just stains and clear coats. The frame around it was stained with an ebony stain, and then the other part was just clear coated. I didn't do anything to it, and that sold really quickly.
Now, where do you sell your stuff at, Russ?
I just advertise it locally on Facebook. Local groups are in this area, and I sell stuff just like that. Just when I want to sell something, that alligator one I showed you, I don't want to get rid of that one because I like it so much. That was one of my first paint jobs that I did that I actually liked and stuff. So I keep that one. But any of the religious items and stuff like that, they would sell pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm. I saw a comment. Now I'm trying over there. Now I'm trying to find it here. Go ahead. Somebody was about to say something, I think.
I was. Brooks Martin explained what the Sinatra PVC is. It's like a drywall foam between two veneers of PVC. So I guess it's kind of like that color core stuff. With
okay. Well, that's the comment I was looking. Not his, but another person somewhere. Where did it go?
Marsha Jackson. It's like a slightly.
That's the one.
Crumbly.
And it's called Sintra, I think, not Sinatra. So that's
Sintra.
Because I kept thinking of Frank.
Autocorrect.
Frank is one I thought.
That's what I was thinking.
But yeah, it's Sintra. I've heard of Sintra before. Okay.
I like Sinatra.
Alrighty. Let's. Okay. Let me.
JR said, "Is that Trade Skittles, JR?"
Yeah, that's
Okay.
JR.
He said, "Maybe sell your 3D work as ready to paint and let the customer work it out." You could do that as well.
But
Let them
mess it all up.
Yeah. Well, some of them like the hands-on, but if I'd rather not paint if I don't have to, because I really don't like painting. But you know.
I can assure you, if you buy something from me, it's unpainted because I will not paint.
Yeah.
No way.
Todd said he finds a torch or a burnt finish works pretty good on 3. I've not done any burn work like that. I'm telling the wife I think I'm going to get me a torch and just see, but I
I'd
don't
be
know,
afraid
not
of
yet.
burning my handiwork up.
No, it's
You
not
got to
too
move
bad.
quick.
You got to be gentle. It's all about the finesse of it, because I burn do some burning on some of the flags I've made just to make it look worn, and yeah, it's all about the finesse. Some people get way too aggressive with flame, and,
Yeah, I
and
don't
then
need it
It
charcoal.
looks like you're just it gets all spotty and stuff like that. The secret to making it nice and even and stuff like that is just staying off of it and being patient with the heat, and it'll do really nicely. That flag that's in my office back at the house, in the background when we do our lives, that's how I have done that. And the edges are just, it's real nice and even, burning and charring and stuff like that. So anybody that wants to burn, take it easy, don't get real close. Yeah, it'll go.
Okay, I tell you what, we're right at the top of the hour here, just past. So let's we say we give away a Jenny bit. If you just have joined us, and I say we got a heck of a crowd tonight. I guess nobody has anything to do on a holiday weekend. But anyway, we appreciate you being here. But if you just joined us, and you may have, be sure to put in hashtag Jenny in the live chat so you can get entered to win our free drawing that we're going to do here in just a second. Cody from Cadence Manufacturing Design sponsors our live giveaway every single week. And tonight we're going to be giving away this bad boy right here. So put in hashtag Jenny in the chat, and you will have an opportunity to win one of those tonight.
Well, I had a couple of last week said that they would, if they wanted, they could send it to me. I don't have one of those. Any more offers?
Also, we have been slacking here because we need to mention that Cody is running a sale. Let's see, what is it, Ryan? 10% off, I think, if you mention something. Let me pull it up here. Or Cody's in the chat. Cody, tell him what to put in the thing to get 10% off. He's running a sale on the website, so we need to make sure we mention that. All right, let me pull up the get this over here, and I'll come back and share again. So hashtag Jenny is what we're looking for. We've got 65 entries and a whole bunch more than people than that in here in the chat. So if you want to get in on the live drawing that we're going to be doing here in just a minute, put in hashtag Jenny in the chat, and we'll be ready to go. Let's see. While we're waiting for that, Jerry says there's a vast difference on what people think stuff should sell for off of CNC. If you listen to certain guys claiming you can earn $1 million with a CNC, good luck. Yeah,
true.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of let's see, how can I put this delicately? Clickbait on CNC video titles. They're like, hey, make 10,000 a week making these things, and I'm like, yeah, like you're doing it. You're still doing YouTube stuff, so you can make 10,000 a week. You wouldn't even be messing with YouTube.
There's one particular fellow over there across the pond that does that every time he puts out a video.
I bet I know who you're talking about.
He's
he's across the pond, but he's not in the UK. The one I'm thinking of is in Australia. So,
Well, I have to go by the accent, so I'm not sure which one it was now. You got me confused.
yeah, well, we'll talk after the
Okay.
show. I bet you we're thinking of the same guy.
Yeah.
Bet you we are. But all righty, we've got 67.
1776 sale. God bless America, Cody said.
Yeah, I don't know why I couldn't remember that.
Jenny,
Jenny
1776
1776 is the coupon code.
Yep.
And thank you to Larry Brown. Appreciate the. I guess that's a super chat. I don't even know what those things are when they pop up. I assume they're super chats. I don't know.
Yeah, they are. I think they are.
I appreciate it.
Steve Leland says you can make $1 million from the CNC by spending $2.
Yeah. Well, that's how you become a millionaire in racing. Start off with $2 million.
Well,
All right, it's stuck on 67, so we're going to go ahead and pull the trigger on this. So good luck, everybody.
Good luck.
Here we go.
Get your Jenny.
Come on, Jenny, baby.
Jeff Connor.
Jeff Connor.
Is Jeff in the house? I mean, he must be if he put a hashtag Jenny in there, but I hadn't seen his name.
I don't remember seeing it either.
The what is that thing? I think it's Bullfrog, something or other is his shop name, I think. Congratulations, Jeff.
Nice
Congrats, Jeff.
If you would contact Cody at www.cadencemfgdesign.com and let him know your shipping information, and he will get that Genie bit right out to you. All righty. Let's see. Do we have any more? Let's see. Bob says, if you are an artist, you should sell it for what it's worth. You won't have many buyers in our Walmart world, but there are customers out there that will pay what you ask. Yeah.
That's true.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Ask for what you're worth.
Yep. That's for sure.
I'm worth nothing, so that's why I work.
All right. I had.
You got another super chat there from Cody.
Oh, man. Like he doesn't do enough already, for crying out loud. Thanks, buddy. Let me close this out. I wanted to show you this video, and then we'll wrap this up and let everybody carry on with their July 4th weekend here. But I ran across this channel today. You know how I'm always telling you guys, I learn something new just about every day. Well, here's what I learned new today. This guy, and in fact, I'm gonna share the link here in the chat. I'm gonna put this link in here, and this is to the video that I'm posting up here and getting ready to show just a little bit because I wanted to show you something. But this is a real small channel. I don't know how long he's been doing YouTube, but he has 33 subscribers. And the reason I know that is because I'm number 33. So if you go check his channel out, he's getting started doing some CNC stuff. Help a brother out. Subscribe. Tell him I sent you. And anyway, the channel is, I don't know if you pronounce it Webercraft or Webercraft, but it's Wieber Craft. Like I said, he's got 33 subscribers right now. But I want to share this video. This is one of them that I ran across, and he's running this on a little. It's not a 3018 now because I think he had done an expansion kit or something on it. But I wanted y'all to check out. See this white thing that he's got? Yeah. I guess it's pressed onto the collet nut.
Mm-hmm.
Have you all ever seen anything like that?
No.
Huh. I have not either. Now let's see. I've got it muted because I know he's playing music during this, but I'm going to play a little bit of it. But what this is And of course, he's got it going super fast. But he's doing a 3D carve, and somewhere here, this guy here says, "What is the white round thing on the spindle?" Or no, wait, I can't read this. He says, "Hi, the white round thing on the spindle, is that a turbine or something?" So the guy replies back and he says, "Yes, it helps clear the dust and cool the end mill." Now he doesn't have
like
an
a
end mill
fan.
on there. He's actually using a tapered ball nose on this. But that is what I learned today. I've never seen that before.
It's like a fan.
So
then.
it blows air down.
Yeah, and I don't know. He doesn't ever say. At least the video, I keep seeing people comment on different videos where he's using it, and he'll always say what it is. But it looks like YouTube's not going to let me post that link right there. I'll show it somewhere else.
Big Nick said it's a fan so you can watch the carve on video, and Wade Custon says you can 3D print those.
Yeah, well, that's
But he
what I was
wouldn't.
wondering. I haven't watched him enough to know if he has a 3D printer, but I just
Bob-
wondered if he bought it somewhere, if he 3D printed or whatever. But I'm thinking,
Yeah.
now, who would have thought of that, to put something like that on your spindle, collet nut, to keep the dust blowed away?
Yeah, Bob says
I'd be
you can't
petrified
3D
that
print
it
a
would
collet
come
fan.
off.
I would too, because it's got to be where you can pull it off fairly easy.
Yeah, because
know?
you got to be able to change the bit.
Todd
That's
says it
wild,
must be a
man.
water cooled spindle. It is not. And actually, he doesn't. He's using his little GoPro, so he has it pointed down. But the machine he's running this on is like a 3018 that he got from. Let's see, where was it he bought it? I can't remember now. It's not Jinmitsu, but anyway, it's a 500 watt spindle, or what they call a 500 watt spindle, and it's air cooled. So
Gone Bad Kiwi says you can actually buy small ones for the Dremels, so he has just made a bigger version.
okay, all right. I don't know. I thought, well, what the heck is that? And then when I figured out what it was, I thought, well, I guess that's kind of cool, but I don't know. I don't know if I'd kind of be afraid it would come off in the middle of doing that.
Even Cody says he's made a couple fans just for fun. You can 3D
Okay.
print them.
All right.
I would think that I think
Flying.
my router, the air, like the fans inside the router, point down already.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'm going to try to put,
some
It
instead
does
of
on my
putting this
router.
through, I'm putting that straight into YouTube now. I think that'll work. I put it through StreamYard before, and they didn't like it for some reason. But
Okay.
anyway, if y'all click on that link, you'll go to that video. Like I said, help a brother out. He's got like 33 subscribers. And check out his stuff, because he's doing some pretty cool stuff with these little CNCs. He's just really getting started as a YouTuber, I think. This video here, I think, let's see, I think this is his latest one. It's May 21st of this year, so he hadn't been at it a long time. But he could use some subscribers. So
He's gonna
check
wake up
it
tomorrow
out.
and have double his people and
Well, I don't. Let's see if anybody's hit it yet. Oh yeah, it went up to 41 from 33. Yeah, he will be.
all kinds of notifications.
He's a viral sensation now.
But when you give him a message,
Let's see here. Okay, yeah, Cody says you can 3D print one. I've made a couple fans for fun. Yeah, I've made fans before, but not thinking I'm going to stick it on my spindle, for sure. Okay, we got another question here. LGR FBS says, tested any 3D scanners? I have not. Anybody else
Have wanted to, but have not done it at this point.
Yeah.
There's supposed to be a good app to do it with, like the new
On
iPhone.
your phone.
Yeah, there's supposed to be some good apps for it, but I haven't tried it.
Okay.
No,
Todd
no,
says
no.
there's some crazy spindle fan designs if you search CNC chip fan. Yeah. And they should also come with a flying shrapnel warning.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the thing to me. It's like, I kind of get that it's a cool idea, but to put it where he has it, it has to slide off fairly easily. And I just, I don't know
Unless
what.
he has a way to lock it down.
20,000 RPM. Oof.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to ask him about that. I have commented on some of his videos, but I just ran across that guy. Today. But anyway, I guess since we've give that fantastic genie bit away, we might as well sign off here. Thank you all for the super chats. Larry, Cody, JR, I think was the other one. Anybody else that I might have missed, thank you. I appreciate it. And I hope everybody has an awesome July 4th weekend. Please be careful if you get out there. Don't be messing around with fireworks and stuff. Blow your dadgum fingers off. You know, it'd be a heck of a note to be a CNC/woodworker and still have all 10 fingers and then lose something because you want to play with fireworks. So be careful with that, and watch out for the drivers out there too this weekend, because there will be people celebrating. We all know how that goes. So
the drive
anyway,
down
so everybody
today
have a great, safe July 4th weekend, and we're going to get out of here. See y'all next week. Anybody got anything they want to say before we go?
Yeah.
Ryan, Paul, Rob?
But wait, there's more.
Yeah, I was waiting for you to say that. Go ahead and plug your video before we go, Rob. If you haven't seen Rob's latest video, get up there and see it.
It's a video about nothing, really. I make some circles, hoops, whatever you want to call them. Just a new way, a design I thought of on the spur of the moment. I wanted to try to make it, and actually, from the idea for it one night to 24 hours later, I'd made some and made a video about it. So it was just and
it was a cool. I like the design. I thought that was really cool, though, especially because you had to figure out how to get them to not fall in on each other when you clamp them down. That was awesome.
Yeah, I'm always working with jigs and getting fancy ways of doing stuff, and I thought I need a simple way of making just a circle. And yeah, I know I'm going to use it. Well, I thought of something today I could have used it for. Needed a bigger one, but next time I need one, I know what to do now.
Yeah. All right.
Awesome.
Very good. Get over there and check out Rob's latest video, and we're going to get out of here. Thanks, Ryan, Paul, Rob, Russ. Appreciate you guys for hanging with us, and we will see y'all on the next one.